Hello and best wishes to everyone who, along with Somer Joy Raymer and John Raymer, are working to elevate peace around the world. My name is Wolf, which is short for Reverend Gola Wolf Richards. I'm 76 years old. I thoroughly enjoy being a family man. And in my work with my dear friend Dr. Christopher Hunt and the help of my family and friends, in the interest of world peace, we invite you to enjoy Broadcast Wisdom, which on SoundCloud.com is our free contemplative audio edutainment library. To support sage self-cultivation for global conflict resolution, at Broadcast Wisdom on SoundCloud, you will find our core audiobook for contemplative education, which is titled The Way to See Whole. I wrote and recorded it to relate how, through synchronicity, nature's principle of universal reciprocity between opposites maintains reciprocal links between the growth of wisdom for sage character development to all processes otherwise involved in the evolution of global conflict resolution. In the ancient tradition of sage character development, found in the Confucian classic, The Book of Changes, or I Ching, steps required to augment wisdom for global conflict resolution are always being taken in every common way that with our hearts and hands, we are always evoking and evolving multiple dimensions of direct, indirect, and synchronistic modes of change, all reflecting the way that through sage character development, nature's principle of universal creativity enjoins us in working with change for individuals to enhance being responsible for the integrally interactive ways that progress toward genuine civilization is a collective process, and it depends on the scope of how compassionate, holistic, moral, and ethical our self-leadership is among ourselves as individuals. In other words, in tandem with creative order throughout the universe, as contemplators become increasingly aware of how reciprocity between universal powers of creation and destruction function in all personal affairs, the basis for global peace is always at hand, for individuals to evoke and evolve dynamics of collective change, based on intentionally learning to save ourselves as individuals from how chaos orchestrates such untimely tendencies that, except for how the character of conflict resolution among individuals is responsible for collective change, the world is always subject to becoming mired in collective dynamics of confusion. Therefore, as a contemplative aid for individuals to increasingly learn how to move history out of chaos into clarity, in our audiobook, The Way to See Whole, in a chapter where I use imaginary figures to focus on yin-yang as a symbol of universal reciprocity, I use the term perspectacles to capture how, in the philosophic and psychological fantasy that is being told, there is a monk who, in a great enlightening dream, identifies with nature in the form of a moose. That particular sequence in the dream reads this way. The tired old man slowly lowered his head to the bed. Making a way to deepen his rest, his tears fell from his face to soften the satin. The evening had filled with his weariness and awaited the relieving grace of his prayers. Lifting his head, he looked and fumbled to put one hand to the side of a toy camel that had once given him comfort in his crib. He clasped the soft memory of his mama's gift to his chest and breathed out his ancient fear of the dark. Gesturing with his other hand upturned in prayer, he then lifted his eyes to watch its movement Lord, show me the way to tomorrow, he prayed. His hand swayed as if to script what he spoke in the air. Lord, lead me to heaven's door. For everyone that ever lives, let all falls to hell's darkness begin steps to heaven's light. Let me become a way to tomorrow, there to enjoy what today's struggles have meant. He slumped on his bed to relieve the weight of the prayer on his knees, mumbling words that only the listening Lord would hear to decipher. In the evening twilight before the night of the return of the light, he was transformed from man into a dear, holy monk, in sleep, smiling in the night as he fell into rest. He spoke to himself, saying, I'm a moose and a monk. I can see it for myself. Yet by some perspectives formed by stranger views, I may occur as some alternative muse, like some foreign race or some breed apart, like something of fancy, like a work of art. Like a fish in the water, you can touch my scales. Like notes for music, you may read me for singing. When used as a number, I'm a mathematical meaning. In any case, in all forms of what or who, the differences to sameness are just points of view. This dream of me is dreaming for you. All identities are formed through our perspectives. At the same time, in sequences and cycles, in the same instance, whether your life or mine. Connected in phases is the one life of time. The one life of the world is the life of all kinds, split all apart or blurred all together. We're connected by means of distinctions. Old creation then or reformations now. It's all patterns of consciousness anyhow. No matter the form, no matter the meaning. You can see this yourself with a contemplative screaming. See as a seer sees with infrastructural perspectives. Look, see here as it is. All stable points in truth are in-betweening. Dynamic change alters all meaning. Keep alive in your head this good myth from your bed. Cosmic views are personal news. The way of the awesome is in the power to choose. Choose the awesome. See it with these ultimate perspectives. When how's everything related to all else is the question. Knowing the outer limits for how to see is the answer. Since growth of the holy is now surely required, any partial vision specks must now be retired. In narrow dimensions, even young eyes grow mired. Gladly hear this news. We can widen our views, dump the partial, using panoramic perspectives. Consciousness moves forever, so we're forever reconstructed. Forever moved by change, all forms are abducted. All things exist in clever colors and hues, yet most all the hue is the same color blue, wet blue water streams beneath blue skies. Simply determined by the perspectives we wear, life leads folks to flight from its scream or care. Through these that I have, the greatest pattern converges. Our pace is set through infinite urges. Chaos threatens the world in great surges. Vision-limited minds are in need of fresh purges. To create bright light, see your own dark scourges. Review your truths through these marvelous perspectives. Our thoughts are patterns reflecting energetic powers. The ways of our thoughts give meaning to the hours. The meaning of our hours determine our days. Then days develop in historical ways a powerful meaning of their own. Don't just be the meaning set by historical powers. Claim the power of the self from our inward hours. Master change and live to shape all meaning. Shaped and shaping, ready or not. The power of meaning is humanity's lot. Sane or insane, be peace or be war. Fate hides hope in new contrast to old choices. We're shaped much by the known, yet much more by the unknown too. Therefore only the deepest of insights for survival will do. Let no truly deep learning stop at me versus you, not for one of us with a nose for perspectacles. Wise brings light, otherwise brings dark. This is the way that it is for peace. Not one way among many, but the way to unite the many. Only wisdom can see for relief. Thank you so very much for listening.